All right, Inspire Beauty, good evening. Happy Monday. Tonight, I can't for the life of me get my PDF to work. Like it keeps telling me there's no content in there. It looks like I'm sharing the screen, but I lost everyone. Can you guys see this? Not that oh, there you are. Can you guys see this? I feel like everyone's frozen, which I'm going to guess I am. Am I frozen? No? Okay. All right, cool. Not sure what's happening. So my internet has been like super slow here, and Charlie was saying his was slow at work. I went to the coffee shop and it was like slow there. So I'm just thinking it's like an area thing. So if I cut out or anything like that, type something in the chat so that I know. Okay, so tonight we're talking confidence in your conversations, and we have been having lots of conversations, and I want to kind of address a little bit of the confidence, I don't want to say issue, but just the confidence part of what we do, because there is a confidence aspect. There is a reason why not everybody will be successful at this business, and it truly boils down to the confidence in this business. So tonight I want to really look at boosting the confidence that you have in yourself as a coach, boosting the confidence that you also have in your conversations, and essentially getting to more yeses because of the confidence. It is they work hand in hand. The more confident I am in what I'm doing, first of all, the more yeses I find myself hearing and having. But you guys, the more confident I am in what I'm doing, it's not that I'm like hearing all of these yeses that maybe you're not hearing, but I think the no's roll off my back a lot easier, and the naysayers roll off my back a lot easier just because of the confidence that I've built in what I do. I want to start by kind of teaching you guys about the competence cycle. Now, the competence, like what we know, right? The information we have directly relates to our level of confidence, and it can work in our favor. So for example, if I know, like if I'm super confident about something, I'm going to be even more willing to learn about it. For example, like if you're super excited and confident about Lift 4 coming out and confident in what it can do for you, you are then going to want to be more competent in it. You're going to educate yourself on the resources, the materials. You're maybe going to learn a little bit more background on the program and things like that. Maybe dive into the meal plan a little bit more. And then as you grow more competent, when you start getting more knowledge base, in turn, your confidence also boosts. It's like a bank account, right? The more money I put into the bank account, the more competence, right? The more knowledge I put in, the more interest is going to grow. So the more confidence is going to grow. So it goes in a very positive pattern in that way. But it can also be on the flip side. The less that we know about something, the more it can derail us from having confidence in that. And the more we feel, or the less confident we feel, the more we're not going to want to learn about it, right? And ultimately quit. I feel like I see coaches do this a lot where they don't feel like they're very competent in something. So they're lacking the confidence, but rather than boosting their confidence by growing in knowledge base, they do the opposite. They don't, they wait, they linger, they don't go through the team trainings, they don't reach out to their upline sponsor and get support, they don't go onto YouTube or Google and just really research what it is that they're struggling with or wanting to learn more about in this business. And then ultimately, because they're not doing that, they don't have confidence in what they're doing and end up fizzling out. So they are directly correlated in what we do, you guys, but there is a positive side of this, and there's also that negative side of this. The negative side is surrounded in fear, okay? Truthfully, like we are all competent people. I believe in all of you guys and your ability to research things, to learn things, to try things and get out of your comfort zone. I wouldn't have invited you to be on our team. The person who invited you to be on our team would not have done that. Like we have the ability to be competent as coaches. We all have the ability to be successful based on the trainings and tools that are out there. So what holds us back from having that is truly fear. And the only way to break free of that fear is one, it's not even like a giant leap of faith. You don't even have to make a leap of faith. You truthfully just need to take one step in the right direction. Okay. And then that step in the right direction, like that one post you make, or that one invite you send out, or that one conversation you have, or that one person that finally says yes, that one little step of confidence, even when you maybe don't quite have it yet on the inside, but it's kind of like faking it till you make it, right? Even that one small step can do wonders to break through fear. Because I've talked about this before, but oftentimes I believe we put fear on this pedestal, right? And the more we say, oh my gosh, I'm just so afraid to send that invite, or oh my gosh, I'm just so afraid to hit post on that. The more we give it that power, the longer it's going to take us to do it. And we might never actually get the confidence to even physically do it because we're just putting this fear up on this pedestal and giving it all the power. So even going and doing something in this business, even when you don't have the complete competence to do so. For example, signing up a coach. We had a teammate recently. She signed a coach, and she is my downline, and she signed up a coach, and it was her first coach that she signed, who truthfully wasn't just like hubby on the side or whatever, but like a business builder, right? And somebody who really wanted to maybe do something with Beachbody. And so I reached out to not her coach, but my coach, and I said, hey, like, talk to me. Like, have you sent her any of our welcome emails yet? Like, where are you at? Are you freaking out? Like, do you want me to get on the Getting Started Right call with you? Like, let's do this together. Let me walk you through how I start a coach off right. And she was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, I literally have no idea where to even begin. And that's the thing. She went out and she did something and signed up a coach, even though she didn't really have the competence about what do you do next? What is like step 2, 3, and 4, but she did step 1. And that little boost of confidence of saying, you know what? I did sign a coach. I can do this, goes a long way, right? So waiting only disrupts this cycle. I'm going to say that again. Waiting only disrupts the cycle. So the longer you wait to send invites, the longer you wait to really start your business, the longer you wait to post about your fitness journey, the longer you wait to dive into personal development, the longer you wait to fully find belief in our products, meaning you're actually using them to get the results that you see everyone else getting, right? The longer you wait to actually give yourself that gift, the more it's going to send you into reverse. So action, you guys. Like, beyond anything, if you listen to anything tonight, at the end of all this, action is the greatest way to confidence. So the more, and we're talking specifically about conversations tonight. So what does that mean? More conversations, right? How am I comfortable in conversations now? And I'm not always 100% comfortable, and I don't always say the perfect thing, but I've gotten comfortable in my convos because I've simply just had a lot of them, right? And I've had a lot of times where I didn't say the right thing, and I could learn from it and say, okay, next time that situation happens, this is maybe how I'll handle it. Or, you know, this, when I used to get price objections in the beginning, I would just be like, I would shut down, I would freeze, like what I've talked about in our July Teen Challenge. I would freeze and I'd be like, okay, cool, like I get it. And I wouldn't dig a little deeper. Today, you guys, I had somebody who this weekend, she told me that she's traveling a lot this summer and this and that. And I go, sister, like this is the perfect workout for you then. It's 4 days a week. You can do it while you're traveling. The workouts aren't that long. I said, do you think with your busy lifestyle that this would be the right thing for you? And she said, yes. And then I followed up with her and she came back and she goes, you know, I just think I'm too busy this summer to be able to do it. I was like, okay, I respect that. I said, but I'm a little confused because the last thing you told me was, yes, you thought this would be perfect for your busy lifestyle. And now you're saying the exact opposite. So is that really what's going on? And no, it wasn't. She dug deeper. We got beyond surface level. That was just an excuse she was giving me. And that was the lamest excuse ever because she literally just contradicted what she told me, right? But because I've had a lot of conversations, I have confidence in the fact that I'm going to dig deeper. And even if, and I never once thought, oh, this girl's going to be like so annoyed by me or she's going to like shut me out because I'm digging deeper. No, I have confidence in that because I've done this enough times where they've shut me down, where I've learned how to maybe tread lightly and use some of the strategies I'm going to show you. So one of the first strategies that I learned was the feel, felt, found. I learned this at Summit a couple years ago, and it changed everything about the way I had conversations. And all it is acknowledging how a person feels, relating to them, and then explaining to them what you found to solve the problem. So I'll give you an example. If somebody's like, Brittany, I'm just so sick of what I see in the mirror. Like, I'm just so sick of walking by the mirror and I don't feel confident. I don't feel sexy. I don't love myself. I'd say, Susie, I know how you feel. I know what it feels like to step in front of a mirror and pick apart your body. I have felt the same way at times in my life. But what I've found is the more I put myself on this journey and the more that I continue to take care of myself, the more I start to fall in love with my body and what it's doing for me. And so I take their feelings, which ultimately our feelings and our emotions are a lot of times what are not us, but maybe our clients, our potential clients, are what's stopping them, right? Like, we are our own worst enemies. So attacking the way they felt in a way that shows them they aren't alone and that you felt the same way too, but you solved that with this, giving them the solution. Brittany, I'm just struggling to make ends meet. I feel like I'm like burning myself on all ends and I just, I can't get ahead and I'm drowning in debt. Listen, sister, I know how you feel. When I was a teacher, I literally worked way too many jobs for hours in the day. I felt the same way. I was absolutely drowning in debt. But what I found was that when I was able to really harness in on Beachbody coaching and this opportunity, man, it's given me such freedom from debt. And I know it's been a couple years, but I see that you could do this too, right? So taking their story, relating it, and then kind of spinning it to whatever it is whatever solution it is that you have for them, right? Another option, you guys, is to connect with people and comment on whatever it is you're connecting with. Compliment them, like the compliment sandwich, right? But you're not putting like bad things on either side. It's not like that kind of compliment sandwich. But in the middle, you compliment them and then ask them a question. Now, this isn't necessarily an invite strategy, but this is how to have more confidence in your conversations and be the person who is driving the conversation rather than feeling like someone else is driving it for you. Remember, you're the person that should be coaching them. So in that process, we don't want them driving the conversation with how much does it cost or this or that, right? We want to be learning about them so that we can ultimately provide a solution. So connecting with somebody and commenting on, hey, I saw you were on vacation this last weekend. Girlfriend, you looked fabulous. Tell me, is this the first vacation you guys have had in a while? Boom, right? Or I had somebody who was going to Hawaii the other day when I reached out to her and she's like, yeah, I connected with her, blah, blah, blah. And she said, yeah, we're actually leaving on Friday for Hawaii. So I responded and I was like, oh my gosh, Hawaii, that's so amazing. And my question that I asked her was, have you ever been there before? It's such a gorgeous place. And then I said, but honestly, what I really need to ask you is, have you packed yet? Because it was like the same week. And so I just wanted to see, like, funny, like some people pack way in advance for things like that. And some people, wait till the last second. And I was just trying to gauge like what kind of person she was. And then that can just bring like funny, real conversation, right? Because that's something that I joke around with, like with Julianne. I pack way in advance and Julianne packs like 2 minutes before she walks out the door. And so like, it's just fun to kind of gauge that. So this is a strategy you can use as you're just talking to people. Again, we're just talking to people, right? We're not out to get Success Club points. I listened to this today and it was like so cool to hear it this way. We're not out to get Success Club points, you guys. We earn Success Club points for helping other people, right? And so the more people that we can connect and compliment and just ask more questions about their life, because we're truly interested. Not because if I ask this question, maybe that'll get me to the invite, or if I ask this question, maybe that'll get me to the challenge pack. No, we're truly interested in other people, right? And so the more that we can do that, the more that we can connect with other people, the easier those invites become, the easier it is to then relate to them and solve any sort of problem that maybe they might have. Okay. No one, you guys, can argue with the way that you believe and what you think about, stuff that you believe in, right? Like no one can argue with your own beliefs. I will not sit here and tell any of you the way you should live your life and how you personally believe on the inside. So like right now, what do you love about where you live? And someone can unmute themselves because I can't see the chat and I was going to do this in the chat, but it's going to be too hard. So what do you love about where you live? Anyone? And this is not a trick question.
Where I live, everybody, because it's super small.
Love that. Okay, so where Natalie lives, she loves it because it's a small town and everyone knows everyone. I love that. Anyone else?
I love that we can drive 45 minutes and be at the beach, and a few hours another direction and be in the snow. Or, we've got so many places around us where we can escape.
I love that about this place too. Lots of different climates. Anyone else?
For me, it's the mountains. I have like the biggest mountains and tons of hiking trails. So that's what I love.
I love that. So you guys, what if like when Natalie said she loves that she knows everybody by name, and I said, no, that's not true. Or like, what if like I can drive this way and I can see the mountains, and then I can go over here and see the ocean. I'm like, no, you can't. Like, nobody can argue with you about what you believe, right? And you guys are so easy to answer that question about what do you love about where you live. And so the exercise I want to take us through, you guys, and again, this can be rather, let's do this commenting in the chat, and I'll take us through all this. And then when we're done, I can go back and use your specific examples. Okay. But first of all, I want you to take a second and tell me 3 things, and they can be like very quick bullet points. It doesn't have to be like 3 huge things, but 3 things you love about being on a team. What do you love about being on a team? For me, what I wrote down is I love women who will lift you up rather than tear you down. I love having a safe place that I can grow and not feel like I'm being judged. And I love being held accountable by my tribe, that if I don't show up, like people are going to be like, where are you? What's going on? Right. And so I love that factor of, I don't get to wallow in my sorrows, or I don't get to say, I'm not going to work out anymore. I don't get to treat myself like crap because people will hold me accountable to that. And then just go ahead and write down your 3 reasons or so. And I want you guys to think about this, because when we talk about what you love about being on a team, it's easier, you guys, to talk about the team than it is the business, right? If you were like, yes, and you get 25% off and you'll get commission on everything that you sell, and you'll grow a downline, and then you hit Emerald, and then we rank advance, and then every year there's this summit annual event. Like, for me, I'd be like, cool, like I love, that's awesome. Like I don't know what you're talking about at all. But if we talk about the team, and we can relate what we love about being on the team to someone else who needs that in their life, like we can see the potential need for that, man, the conversation can just roll so much smoother, because you're not so worried about numbers and stats and this and that. You're just being authentic. Just like you said, I love that I live in the mountains and we can hike. The same thing you could say about your team. I love that I have a safe space to grow and no one judges me there, right? And so you want to take real words and real beliefs about being on a team, what that means to you, and then you got to take what you know about a person that you're talking to. And let me give you an example. So I'll go back to what I said here. So maybe I'm talking to, okay, I'm gonna talk about Whitney. She is a challenger that we have right now that I've been talking about becoming a coach. She loves her job, you guys. She loves her job. She doesn't really have a desire for this like extra income thing. Like she feels like she's got a lot on her plate, and she's always had a lot on her plate. And so now that she's kind of transitioning into a pretty stable job, she doesn't necessarily, want to add more, right? Because she's already gone down that path, and she doesn't want to spiral down like an adding to her plate sort of thing. Whitney also struggles with depression. And so we have a very safe, knit like bond in that way where we can talk to each other on a real level about that. So I could say something like, hey, Whitney, I am loving the way that you are connecting in our challenge groups with all the other women. I love that in there you're really, just raw with us and honest. And I love that you see that as a safe space. I just think like you have to know that when I joined this team, that's the vision that I wanted. And those are the type of women that I want in our tribe. I just think you would so love our team because it's such a safe place. You can grow in there. You won't be judged. And we're going to lift you up, especially on those days when you're struggling with depression and just everything in your life seems like it's a lot. You've got this whole team by your side, right? You see how I just took, like, I invited her to coaching, but I took my story and I related it to her story. Now, the important part is you have to know about the person, right? So that's what comes back to, like, challengers are obviously the easiest people to talk to about this, because at that point, by the time they're a challenger and you're getting to the point of maybe talking to them about joining Inspire Beauty, you should probably know something about them at that point, right? But same thing applies. And that's why I said the feel, felt, found, or the connect and comment and compliment and question, where you're getting to know people. Because when you know more about them, you can now take your story and relate it to where they are and bridge the gap. And that, guys, makes conversations flow so much more effortlessly, and you have so much more confidence in what you're talking about. So that, yeah, by the time you talk about challenge packs or numbers or this or that, the ins and outs and the details, you're not leading with that, right? And by the time you get to that, you already have this bond that's been formed. Okay, let's keep going. So try this one. How has personal development helped you? Think of 3 ways it's helped you. Comment in the chat, guys. How has personal development helped you? For me, it's helped me handle the stress of life better. I found that I've leveled up and found ways to heal my heart and mind. It's been like therapy for me, honestly. And I can dream bigger for my life. I read words that allow me to just have that like inner fire that, wait a second, yes, I can do this. And so those are 3 ways personal development has helped me over the years. And again, you guys, it's easier to talk about what personal development has done for you than it is to talk about a discount on shakes, right? Like, oh, you'll get, if you love Shakeology in our challenge group, you can get it for 25% off, and it's called a discount coach. Or you could say, listen, I know that this shake, like, you are loving it because you've been on it for 3 months straight now, and you've been rocking it every day in our challenge group, sharing your recipes and just sharing your journey with us. And I love watching you go through that. I know that you have a lot of stress on your plate, and I can't help but think that personal development has allowed me to handle and manage stress in ways that I never knew how to do. And that's one of my favorite parts about being on a team like Inspire Beauty. And then you can lead into the question, like, have you ever considered, or what do you think, like, would you be interested in being a part of Inspire Beauty, simply because we have book clubs where we read books together, and then on Saturdays we get face-to-face on video chat, and we talk about what it's doing for us in our lives. Is that something that you think you could see yourself doing or you need in your life, right? It's a lot easier to talk about personal development. And then you could say, oh, and by the way, I know you've been drinking your shakes for 3 months. You're also going to get a cute little discount, right? Okay, again, real words and real beliefs about personal development and what you know about the person, right? You've got to know something about them in order to bridge the gap. So this was another example that I just wrote up. Sarah, you've been such an amazing challenger, and I love how much you love fitness. It's contagious in our group. I know one area I've struggled with in my life is confidence and managing my mindset, and I can't help but think that you love personal development the way I do. One of the reasons I love our team is the personal development. It's given me confidence and allowed me to handle my stress better. I think you love personal development, and I could so see you on our team, right? These are conversations. But when we make the conversation about the other person, and then we make ourselves bridging the gap to how, like, we can relate to them on their level, and not just making it about business or challenge pack, right? And tonight it's very hefty on the business end of conversations, because I do want you guys to get comfortable and have confidence in those sorts of conversations as well. I know that it's easy to get stuck in our bubble of inviting to challenge groups because we have a lot of belief around that. But you guys wouldn't be on this call right now, and you wouldn't still be on our team if you didn't have belief around the coaching side. But I think we get so off put by business and coaching and, the numbers aspect, right? That we forget about, like, what it's really doing for our lives. Okay, last one. What has the extra income done for you? Now, you guys, I am glad that I am not like, mark my words, I'm saying this like, what day is this? July 16th, 2018. I'm glad I'm not a millionaire. No, I'm not. We all wish, right? I'm glad, though, that I'm not at a financial space where I'm so far removed from, like, quote unquote normal people that they can't see themselves in my shoes, right? When I talk about extra income, I don't want you to, like, freeze like deer in headlights and think like, oh my gosh, I'm not making enough to, like, tell people what it's doing for me. Guys, here are some of my examples. I got to take my husband to Mexico for free with an all expense paid vacation because of the business I'm doing and the income we make. Like, What is that? Like, that's insane. For helping people, I got a free trip to Mexico. Like, and I got to gift that to him. That's huge. That was huge for our, we weren't quite married yet, but like, that's huge for our relationship, that I could gift him something like that and see him just de-stress for a week, unplug, get away, and not have to stress that like, we didn't have enough money for this trip, or we booked this trip and we just couldn't, like, no, like, that was a gift just for doing my job. Okay, that one is a little far removed from maybe the norm of people. But guys, when I really started making a pretty substantial weekly income, and when I mean substantial, I guess what I mean is like better than zero, but also like enough where I could help out in the household, I began tithing at church because I finally could. I finally felt like I had enough money that I could give back to my community. Okay. I know coaches who they sponsor children in other countries because they can now, right? Just one child, and it's the amount they'd spend at Starbucks each month, right? And so rather than spending the money at Starbucks, they sponsor a child because they can. Every week, you guys, it's my job to purchase groceries for our family, and I adore that time. I love swiping my card because I know that I used to swipe my card at Sprouts and stand there and just like cross my fingers that it didn't get declined. And now every week I go and I make a grocery list, and I don't worry that I need to cut back on it. I don't need to worry that I got to get only sale items. And I swipe my card with confidence because I know there's enough money. And I come home and I unpack the groceries and I cook meals for the week. And I know that Charlie eats well because I work hard. And that matters. And groceries, you guys, my grocery bill is anywhere between, depending on the week, $60 to like $100. And so that's not a massive amount of money. I mean, for some people that might not be a big deal. For me, that is. This week coming up, or this week we're in, actually, we leave Wednesday for Waco and for our Texas trip. And the money that he made in his business center, which is really me, he didn't really make the money, but it'll go to his bank account. The money that we earned in his business center is enough to cover all our fun money for the trip. So anything we want to buy when we're at Magnolia Market, if I want to get room service, if we want to get drinks, if we want to go out for dinner or whatever, our fun money on the trip is totally going to be covered by the money that I made last week in his business center. And so those are things that matter. Like, that extra income matters to me. And it's easier to talk about what an everyday person can connect with, just like tithing at church, paying for groceries, having a little bit of fun money on the side, than the potential of being a millionaire, right? If you're like, you could be a 6-figure earner in this business, most people are like, yeah, cool, probably not. What a scam, right? But if you can just connect it to like, I got to pump gas and put it in the car. Last week, you guys, I took Charlie's dry cleaning and dropped it off for him because it had been sitting in the car for too long, and I happened to be in the car, and I was like, okay, it's still sitting here. I'll do this for him. And I swiped my card and I paid for it. And he was like, you don't have to pay for it. And I was like, it's my gift to you. I wanted to pay for it. And like, those things, that matters to me, because those are big things to me, because there was a point where I couldn't afford to freaking even buy toilet paper, right? And so that's a big deal to me, that I can pay for his dry cleaning, and he doesn't have to worry about one more thing on his to-do list, right? Again, real words and real belief about the extra income and what you know about the person. So an example I have is, Rebecca, I know you have a job you love. Like, you don't have to tell them like, hey, I know you want to, like, you need to quit your job and make this your full-time thing. No, like, I'm acknowledging I know you have a job you love, but you know what I think you'd love about what I do? You'd have that extra income to have some wiggle room in your budget. And I know that would mean so much to you here at the holidays. Like, how many people do we know stress about like money at the holidays, or going in debt, or being able to pay for, their kids, the gifts that they truly want around the holidays, or even the food on the table, just all of that stuff, right? And what that would mean to them. So once you know more about that person, like, that wouldn't be something I'd say to like any old person. Like, I'd have to know about them, right? But acknowledging, I know you have a job you love, but like, think about like gifting. What if you like were with me next year on the Success Club trip and you could take your husband on a free, all expense paid vacation? Like, would you want to work for that? And just getting real about those things. So this is kind of the power of 3 exercise. I want you guys to write these questions down, and I'll actually screenshot this and put this up on the team page as well. This is kind of your call to action for tonight, because we did center a lot of our questions just now on business sides of things, which is fine, okay? Because you guys do need to get comfortable having those conversations and confident in that. And so that exercise I just took you through, I want you to do with all aspects of the business. Okay. And here are some to kind of get you going. So 3 things that Shakeology's done for you. What has Shakeology done for you? 3 things. Again, remember, no one can argue what you believe. So if it's done that for you, it's done that for you, and no one can take that away from you, right? What has BOD done for you? How have challenge groups impacted your life? So those are really great ones for the challenger aspect, right? And then these last 3 were the ones that we just did, which are more team aspects. So what do you like most about being part of a team? You guys, people don't have community these days. People don't have like tribes they belong to. They go to work, they come home, and they don't feel like they're part of anything. What if they could be part of a community, right? People crave that. We were made for community. We're made to mingle and be around other people. But yet a lot of us just get stuck in this cycle where like, where do I even meet people? I don't want to go on a dating site. I don't want to, not that like we're speed dating on Inspire Beauty, but like they don't want to do like an app, right? Like they don't want to go to the bar and try to meet people there. Maybe they're, you know, struggling to get into a church situation in their community and they're just not there yet. Whatever that is, guys, but they have a special gift right here in front of them to be a part of a community. How has personal development helped you? What has the extra income enabled you to do? And so my challenge for you is to write 3 things down, just like I did for the others. And maybe you guys did in the chat for these last 3, but keep it somewhere. Keep it somewhere very close to you so that if I were to ask you like, hey, Leah, what has Shakeology done for you? You could give me your 3 things right away, because then when you're in a conversation where you see that Shakeology could be an answer for them, you can not say, oh, and then there's chocolate and there's vanilla and it's $130 a month. Don't let that scare you, because here's everything that's like really cool about Shakeology. You could say, listen, let me like just tell you a little bit about my backstory and what this has done for me, because I just think that it would be such a great thing for you too, right? And there's power in that. There's power in that. Okay, so that's it for my content. I am going to, hey friends, I'm going to open up the chat and see. Team atmosphere, a tribe of women who get you, being held to a high standard. Yeah. You know, you could, I'm like totally going off the cuff here, but you could be like, hey, sister, like, I know lately it's been really challenging for you at work because you feel like you just go to work and you don't really have a team that you work with. Everyone is like at each other's throats. You just feel like it's super gossipy. And that's like breaking my heart. What I love most about what I do as a coach is that we have a team. It's a tribe of women who get you. They're there to support you. And I just can't help but think that you, like in this space in your life where you don't get that kind of support at work, you would just love and thrive in our team, right? Like, that's it. But you got to know that person. You got to know that maybe they're struggling at work, and you have to have that rapport built with them, right? I love that there's no cattiness. There's constant support and unconditional love. Yes, very similar. Let me see if I can get one that's not team. Okay, it's helped me with several areas of confidence dealing with different situations. This is the personal development, right, Leah? And to want to truly be a better, stronger, confident version of me. And it very similar to the example that I gave, where you're talking about, you know, like, hey, like you're rocking it in this group and I love that. But I also like know that you've been sharing a lot about some confidence struggles lately. And one of the things that's really helped me in my journey is personal development. I know it sounds hokey, like self-help, but seriously, like we do a coffee chat every Saturday morning. We pick books each month to read through together. And I mean, it's just so cool to grow alongside other women. And I just can't help but think that you would be a perfect fit in our team. You know, do you think you'd benefit from doing some like book clubs and personal development with us? Boom, right? And just taking your story and spinning it so that it's about them, right? Jess, you said with the money allows you to do extra stuff with your family, right? And that's powerful. There's so many people who feel stuck right now because of financial situations that they can't do those extra things. It's literally same thing every day and maybe the same meal every day because we can't afford anything extra. And so talking about that extra and just saying, you know, and these are things you can craft into posts too, you guys. The more confident you are in what this is doing for you in your posting, the more that other people will buy into it essentially as well because they're feeling that confidence. I love it. Well, that's all I got tonight, guys. Any questions, comments, concerns? Do we feel more confident? I hope so. No confidence.
We need to hear that. Leia and I were talking today, and we were talking about this very thing.
What do you mean, this very thing? Like confidence in
Just
your...
the confidence, just being scared, and just those days when Satan's just like, you know what, you suck at this, you know, and just crawling in our hole and just being terrified to say anything.
Yeah.
And like, we're not good enough to share, you know, that type of thing. So this was like so perfect for us today.
Yay. I'm so glad. And go ahead.
No. What I was just going to say what Natalie said. It was just so nice to know that you don't just have to go to your upline. We have a team of women, and I didn't think twice about messaging Natalie to ask her about her story. And that started our conversation. And another thing that hit me tonight when you were talking is one of the videos that I'm watching, one of the elite coaches really focused on make it about them. Have you given them anything? Have you given them hope or confidence or love? This isn't about you.
Yeah.
And so this just, you know, I'm just hearing it more and more, which is what I need.
And the value, you know, providing value. I often see it a lot in our posting where we can get so consumed with, we've got a group happening, we've got a group happening, we've got a group, I'm drinking my shake, I'm drinking my unicorn juice, whatever. We can get so stuck in that we forget, like, maybe I need to give them the recipe, or maybe I need to just like give them what I'm learning in my personal development, or, you know, maybe like sometimes we have to just provide value and not a call to action. And I think that it's important to have a healthy balance of both, because those are the moments, that people are like, huh, she's not just trying to sell me something, right? And it comes back to that competence confidence cycle, you guys, that you have to take action on not just learning things, but implementing, because that's where the fear can go away. That's where Satan doesn't have a stronghold, because you know how to do the things you need to do, right? And you become more confident in that. Yay! I'm so glad this rang true for a lot of you guys tonight. I want to take a quick pic before it kicks us off. So fix your face. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda.
Uh-oh, we lost whoever that was. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, ladies, thank you so much. I'm going to put that picture up on the page so that you guys can start typing some of your responses to that and figure that out, right? Okay. Have a good night.